Welcome to Cinema Bites, your go-to for movie recaps in a flash. Big twists, epic moments, all in just minutes. The movie begins with a man named Gerry living a simple and beautiful life with his family. Every day they wake up, have breakfast together, and then everyone goes about their daily routines, work, school, etc. But when they head outside and get into their car, the streets are unusually crowded with a massive number of cars. There are also a lot of security forces on the ground and in the air with helicopters. The situation is chaotic, and Gerry turns on the radio to understand what's happening. He hears the Ministry of Health discussing extensive research and tracking a rabies-like disease that has spread significantly in Taiwan. The disease has started spreading to multiple countries. A police officer passes by Gerry's car and accidentally breaks its side mirror. Gerry steps out to fix the mirror and figure out what's going on, feeling increasingly uneasy because the city feels different today. The officer tells Gerry to get back into the car and stay inside with his family. Suddenly, a truck crashes into the officer, running over everything in its path, causing chaos and panic in the area. Gerry takes advantage of the situation and follows a car trying to escape the traffic. But then, another car crashes into Gerry's, causing a major accident. Thankfully, no one in his family is hurt. However, the people around them seem to have gone mad, and chaos erupts everywhere. People are running, screaming, and others are chasing them, attacking and biting them. Gerry gets out of the car, panicked and unsure of what to do to protect his family. He notices that people are transforming into something else immediately after being bitten. Gerry quickly finds a large vehicle, gathers his family inside, and drives away. Meanwhile, on the ground, people continue to attack and infect each other, turning into crazed beings. Gerry faces another challenge when his daughter, who has asthma, struggles to breathe. Her inhaler was lost during the chaos. She desperately needs her medication to breathe normally, so Gerry calms her down and helps her manage until they can find help. During this time, Gerry receives a call from an old colleague, Thierry, who works for the government. Thierry informs Gerry that his help is needed to stop the virus from spreading globally. Thierry arranges for a helicopter to pick Gerry and his family up. Before that, Gerry takes his family to a mall to gather medicine and food, knowing that supplies will soon run out. At the mall, they face danger when some men attempt to attack Gerry's wife. Gerry manages to kill them and save her. They rush to leave, only to find their car has been stolen. The family seeks refuge in a tall building, where Gerry contacts Thierry to provide their location for the helicopter rescue. Inside the building, Gerry locks the doors to prevent the infected from entering. However, the infected manage to break in, chasing Gerry and his family up the stairs. A couple living in the building helps them by letting them into their apartment. The couple provides food and water for Gerry's family, who had lost their supplies in the chaos. Gerry listens to the radio, where the city's governor announces that a dangerous virus has spread throughout the city. People are turning into zombies, and everyone is advised to stay indoors for 2 to 3 weeks until the situation is under control. The governor urges people to stock up on food and avoid going outside, warning that anyone bitten will also turn into zombies. Gerry spends the night at the couple's apartment, preparing to reach the rooftop for the helicopter evacuation. He wraps his arms with thick materials to protect himself from bites. Gerry invites the couple to join them, but they refuse, choosing to stay in their apartment, which they believe is safer. As Gerry and his family carefully make their way to the rooftop, they try to avoid making noise to prevent attracting the zombies. Unfortunately, the zombies notice them and attack. Gerry fights them off, but at one point, he fears he may have been exposed to zombie blood. Believing he might turn, Gerry stands at the edge of the building, ready to jump if he transforms. However, nothing happens, and he realizes that zombie blood does not infect humans. The helicopter finally arrives, and Gerry, his family, and the couple's son escape the city, which has descended into complete chaos. From the air, they see the city destroyed, with zombies everywhere. The helicopter takes them to a ship in the ocean, where Thierry and a large group of uninfected survivors are stationed. The ocean serves as a safe zone, far from the infected cities. Thierry explains to Gerry that the president is dead, the vice president is missing, and the world is in chaos. They are desperate to find a way to stop the zombies before they overrun the entire planet. They don't know what to do. Then they discover the source of the virus in Korea, and they send a doctor named Dr. Fastbach there to try to find a cure that can completely destroy the virus to save humanity. At that time, Sari informs Gerry that he has been chosen to accompany Dr. Fastbach and protect him from the zombie threat, and he must agree to their request. If he refuses and leaves, there would be no point in him staying with them on the ship, as his and his family's presence there depends solely on him accepting this mission. Gerry finds no other solution to protect his wife and children except to agree to this suicidal mission, which could cost him his life at any moment. However, he asks them to ensure the safety of his wife and children while he does everything they want. Gerry then goes to bid farewell to his wife, giving her a phone to stay in touch with him throughout this period until he returns to her and their children. Afterwards, Gerry boards the plane with the team and Dr. Fastbach, who is responsible for his protection. Once they land at the designated location, they find the airport completely deserted with no one in sight. They proceed cautiously to avoid attracting attention. Gerry warns Dr. Fastbach not to act on his own and to follow his lead to avoid getting killed, as Gerry is responsible for his protection until the mission is completed and they return safely. However, as soon as they disembark from the plane, zombies attack one of the soldiers. Dr. Fastbach panics and tries to return to the plane quickly, but he slips and accidentally fires a bullet from his gun, which hits his head, killing him before he could even start his mission. Later, the special forces waiting for the plane arrive and take them to their base of operations. There, Gerry learns from the special special forces who dealt with the zombies that the zombies are attracted to sound, and that bullets don't kill them but only slow them down unless they are shot directly in the head. Gerry also learns from a soldier named Ellis, who witnessed an earlier zombie incident, about how a doctor who was presumed dead suddenly rose and attacked everyone in the room, killing them all. However, he spared Ellis, possibly because he didn't notice him. They had tried to retrieve documents that could help them understand the zombies, but they burned everything to eliminate any traces of the zombies at the time. The soldiers at the camp then tell Gerry about a man they had imprisoned in a cell, who was the only survivor among the remaining soldiers after witnessing what had happened. They had locked him up to prevent him from harming anyone. The man tells Gerry that if he wants answers to everything happening, he must go to Palestine, as they might know everything and have built high walls around Jerusalem to isolate themselves from the zombies and the pandemic that is taking over the world. He advises Gerry to meet Jurgen, who will explain everything to him. Gerry learns that the man had gone insane and even removed all his teeth so that if he turned into a zombie, he wouldn't harm anyone by biting them. Gerry informs his team that they need to head to Jerusalem, as it's the only solution to understand what happened to the world and why the zombie outbreak spread so quickly. They refuel the plane to ensure they have enough fuel for the journey without needing to land anytime soon. They then move quietly to avoid making noise that could attract the zombies. However, Gerry's wife calls him, and the sound from his phone alerts the zombies, who quickly attack them. Gerry and the team manage to reach the plane and take off just in time before the zombies can get to them. They arrive in Jerusalem, where they are granted permission to land. Gerry asks to meet Jurgen, and when he does, he questions him about when and why they decided to build such high walls. He wonders why only they took such measures and what made them believe the world would be destroyed in this way. Jurgen explains that humans only believe in something when they experience it and are shocked by it, unable to find a way out, and then regret what has happened. He says that if someone had claimed zombies would take over the world, no one would have believed them, and they would have been called crazy. He adds that he decided to build those walls long ago to protect themselves and provide safety, and now the whole world wishes to live there. Jurgen also recounts how, in 1973, the Israelis thought they had the strongest army in the world until the Egyptians defeated them with hoses, breaking through their defensive lines. Since then, the Israelis have anticipated potential threats and built the walls to protect themselves. He then takes Gerry on a tour of the city to show him the extensive precautions they have taken. He explains that anyone seeking refuge in the city is allowed entry as long as they are confirmed to be healthy and not carrying the infection. However, the zombies outside the walls are drawn to the noise coming from within the city. They begin to pile up against the walls, creating a barrier high enough to breach the city and destroy it. Despite the soldiers' efforts to repel them, the zombies manage to enter the city, attacking everyone inside. Gerry observes the chaos and notices that the zombies attack everyone except an elderly man, whom they pass by without noticing, as if he isn't there. Gerry becomes curious and starts to think about why the zombies ignored the man, but he doesn't have time to figure it out as the zombies continue to attack and infect everyone. The soldiers heroically sacrifice themselves, detonating explosives to kill as many zombies as possible and prevent themselves from turning into zombies. One of the zombies. Then Gerry tries to escape to a place away from the main street, but at that moment, he is surprised by a large army of zombies attacking him and the rest of the guards with him. Gerry notices again that there is a boy who had cancer passing by the zombies without them doing anything to him or even noticing him. Gerry starts piecing things together to understand what's happening. He begins to think that there are certain people whom the zombies cannot attack, such as the old man and the sick young man. He starts wondering what prevents the zombies from attacking them so blatantly. Then a zombie attacks a soldier named Sagen, who is with Gerry, but Gerry manages to kill the zombie. However, the zombie bites Sagen, and Gerry is forced to cut off her arm to prevent the infection from spreading. Gerry stays by her side, counting from 1 to 10 to make sure she doesn't turn into a zombie. When he confirms that she won't turn, he orders the soldier with him to lower his gun. Then, he bandages her arm until they reach the plane to treat her there. However, the pilot of the plane Gerry was on takes off and flies away, fearing that the zombies might overtake the plane after Gerry and his group. Gerry is forced to take a passenger plane to escape with Sagen and the remaining few soldiers. Then Gerry contacts Sari, telling him what happened and explaining that there are specific people whom the zombies don't approach and who are unaffected by the disease. He needs to find out the reason and asks Sari for the nearest medical laboratory to investigate. Gerry gets the coordinates for the lab and heads there. Meanwhile, there is a zombie on the passenger plane with them. It attacks a flight attendant, turning her into a zombie, and then everyone in the second-class section turns into zombies. Gerry tries to get the first-class passengers to separate their section from the second-class section to stay away from the zombies as much as possible. He tells them not to make any noise or speak so the zombies won't enter their cabin. They stack passengers' luggage between the two sections, but while doing so, one passenger accidentally drops a bag near the zombies, revealing their location. The zombies begin to attack them. Gerry grabs a grenade from Sagen and throws it at the zombies, causing an explosion that tears apart the plane and pulls all the zombies out into the air. The pilot manages to land the plane safely, away from danger, even though the plane is completely destroyed and explodes with them on board. Gerry and Sagen survive and support each other as they head to the medical lab to try to uncover the secret behind the virus that has destroyed the world. Gerry becomes very weak and loses consciousness in front of the lab where he is supposed to investigate the cause. 3 days pass with Gerry completely unconscious. Meanwhile, back on the ship where Gerry's family family in Seriar, the ship's captain decides to eject Gerry's family from the ship and move them to a ground camp since they haven't heard from Gerry in 3 days. Despite Seri's objections and attempts to convince the captain otherwise, he fails, and Gerry's family is sent off the ship and taken by helicopter to the camp. Gerry wakes up in the lab, tied to the bed he is lying on because they are afraid he might have been bitten and is carrying the disease. Gerry asks them to untie him, and they allow him to contact the number on the radio he has. Seri answers and informs him that his wife and children have left the ship because they couldn't reach him for 3 days. He also tells him that his wife and children have gone to another camp on the ground. Everyone in the lab relaxes when they learn that Gerry is affiliated with the US military and is trying to find a cure for the disease. Gerry requests that they create a strong virus, but with an easy cure that won't kill humans. He sits with the person in charge of medicine and viruses, who tells him that they have tried giving zombies all kinds of viruses, but none of them worked, and no serum succeeded in stopping the disease. Gerry shocks them by saying that this virus isn't for the zombies, it's for humans. He wants to conduct an experiment to figure out how to stop the zombies. Gerry explains everything he observed, like how the zombies avoided the old man, the sick young man, and Sajin after she was infected and her arm was amputated. He tells them that zombies only attack healthy humans without any diseases. The lab team is shocked and tells him that all the viruses are in a section overrun by zombies, making it nearly impossible to access without risking their lives. A human volunteer would need to inject themselves with a deadly virus to test Gerry's theory. Gerry volunteers himself, saying he will inject himself with the virus. Gerry, Sajin, and a lab doctor head to the virus storage area. They open the door separating them from the zombies and manage to enter the infected section. However, the door makes a noise, attracting the zombies. Sajin shoots one zombie in the head, killing it, but the rest of the zombies start chasing and attacking them. The group splits up, with the lab doctor and Sajin retreating to the safe section. Gerry finds the virus storage area right in front of him and enters to collect the viruses. Not knowing which type to use, he decides to take all of them. As he tries to leave, he encounters a zombie waiting outside the room to attack him. Gerry, unsure of what to do, decides to inject himself with one of the viruses to test his theory. After injecting himself, he feels mild discomfort as the virus spreads in his body. He stands by the door separating him from the zombies and opens it, but the zombies do nothing to him as if they can't see him. His plan works, and he discovers how to prevent the disease from spreading to healthy humans. He activates a vending machine to make noise and draw the zombies' attention, then returns to the safe section. And as he was coming back through the zombies, none of them did anything to him, as if they couldn't feel his presence. After that, Gerry starts moving towards the camp where his family and relatives are. At that time, the lab is distributing the vaccine for the virus to the rest of the world to control the spread of the disease. Gerry reaches his family after they have completely eradicated the virus, and the armies of the world manage to kill all the zombies since there was no longer any way for them to survive. And that's it. Here the movie ends. I hope you liked it. Don't forget to give us a like. If you're not subscribed to the channel, subscribe and activate the notification bell so you receive our videos immediately. Stay tuned for many upcoming movies soon, and I'll see you on the channel.